What is the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you immediately check your phone? Do you scroll through social media? Do you start worrying about your responsibilities? Or do you invest the first moments of your day into becoming a better version of yourself? The truth is that your morning determines your direction. A powerful morning creates a powerful day. And if your dream is to speak English confidently, fluently, and naturally, then your morning routine can become your greatest teacher. Many people believe they need expensive courses, perfect grammar, or special talent to learn English. That is not true. The people who succeed are not always the smartest, they are the most consistent. They build small daily habits that eventually produce extraordinary results. Today, I want to show you how a simple morning routine can transform your English and open doors you never thought possible. Because every great achievement begins with a daily habit, and every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Win the first hour. Win the language. The first hour after waking up is one of the most powerful periods of your day. Your mind is fresh. Your brain is calm. Your focus is stronger. This is the perfect time to learn English. Imagine spending just 20 minutes every morning improving your language skills. 20 minutes may seem small, but 20 minutes every day becomes more than 100 hours in a year. 100 hours of focused learning can completely change your communication skills. The problem is not that people do not have time. The problem is that they do not use their time intentionally. Successful learners understand that mornings are opportunities. Before the noise of the world begins, they invest in themselves. Instead of scrolling through content created by others, they create a better future for themselves. Your morning is your investment account. Every English word you learn is a deposit. Every sentence you practice is a deposit. Every book page you read is a deposit. And one day those deposits become confidence, fluency, and success. Train your mind to think in English. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is translating everything. They hear English, then they translate it into their native language. Then they create a response. Then they translate it back into English. This process is slow and exhausting. Fluent speakers do something different. They think directly in English. And the morning is the perfect time to build this habit. As soon as you wake up, start describing your day in English. Say simple sentences. I am waking up. I am brushing my teeth. I am preparing breakfast. Today will be productive. These sentences may seem basic, but they train your brain to connect thoughts directly with English. Do not worry about perfection. Focus on practice. Children learn language through repetition, not perfection. Every morning gives you another opportunity to strengthen this mental connection. The more you think in English, the more natural speaking becomes. Fluency is not magic. Fluency is familiarity, and familiarity comes from daily exposure. Read something inspiring every morning. Words are the building blocks of communication. The more words you know, the more powerfully you can express yourself. That is why reading should become part of your morning routine. Read motivational quotes. Read short articles. Read English stories. Read biographies of successful people. When you read, you expose yourself to new vocabulary, sentence structures, and ideas. You begin to understand how native speakers communicate. You discover words that can make your speaking stronger and your writing more effective. Keep a notebook beside you. Whenever you find a new word, write it down. Write its meaning. Create a sentence using that word. Review those words every day. A vocabulary notebook may seem simple, but it is one of the most effective learning tools ever created. Remember this. Readers become thinkers. Thinkers become speakers. And speakers become leaders. Speak before the world wakes up. Many people understand English but struggle to speak it. Why? Because knowledge without practice creates fear. Speaking is a skill, and every skill improves through repetition. The morning is a wonderful time to practice speaking because there is less pressure. You can speak in front of a mirror. You can record your voice. You can read aloud from a book. You can explain your goals for the day. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. At first, your speech may feel uncomfortable. That is normal. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once struggled with confidence. Growth begins where comfort ends. When you speak every morning, you train your tongue, your brain, and your confidence simultaneously. Little by little, hesitation disappears. Little by little, fluency grows. And one day you realize that the language you once feared has become part of who you are. Create a daily English environment. Your environment influences your success more than your motivation. If you spend all day surrounded by your native language, learning English becomes harder. But if you intentionally create an English environment, learning becomes easier. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Watch educational videos while having breakfast. Change your phone settings to English. Follow English-speaking creators. Listen to English news. Expose yourself to the language every day. Your brain learns through exposure. The more English you hear, the more familiar it becomes. The more familiar it becomes, the less intimidating it feels. Language learning is not only about studying, it is about living with the language. Let English become part of your daily life, not just a subject, not just a lesson, but a lifestyle. Small, consistent actions create extraordinary results. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a week, but they underestimate what they can achieve in a year. A single morning routine may not change your life today, but repeated daily, it can completely transform your future. 15 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of speaking, 10 minutes of listening, 5 minutes of vocabulary review. That is all it takes to begin. The secret is consistency, not intensity. You do not need to study for 5 hours today. You need to show up every day. Success belongs to those who remain committed when excitement disappears. Remember, fluency is not built overnight. It is built morning after morning, day after day, word after word, sentence after sentence, until one day you speak confidently and wonder how far you have come. Conclusion. My friends, your future English-speaking self is created by the habits you practice today. Every morning is a new opportunity, a new chance to improve. Do not wait for the perfect course. Do not wait for perfect confidence. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Start tomorrow morning, read, listen, speak, think, practice, and repeat. Because the person who improves just a little every day eventually becomes the person everyone admires. Your English can improve. Your confidence can grow. Your opportunities can expand. And it all begins with a simple decision made tomorrow morning. Wake up with purpose, learn with consistency, speak with courage, and watch your future change, one morning at a time. There is a powerful saying, win the morning, win the day. When it comes to learning English, this statement is absolutely true. The first hour after you wake up can become the most valuable hour for improving your language skills. It is not because there is something magical about the morning. It is because your brain is at its freshest, your attention is stronger, and distractions are fewer. Many people wake up and immediately grab their phones. They begin scrolling through social media, watching random videos or reading messages. Before they know it, 30 minutes or even an hour has disappeared. The problem is not just the lost time, it is the lost opportunity. That first hour could have been used to train the mind, strengthen vocabulary, and improve communication skills. Research shows that the brain is highly receptive after waking up. During sleep, the brain processes information and forms connections. When you wake up, your mind is ready to absorb new knowledge. This makes the morning an ideal time for language learning. What you study in the morning is often remembered better because your brain is less crowded with the stress and responsibilities of the day. Imagine beginning your morning with just 15 to 20 minutes of English practice. You could read a short article, listen to a podcast, learn 5 new words, or practice speaking aloud. These small actions may seem insignificant, but they create momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in learning. When you start your day with English, your brain remains connected to the language throughout the day. For example, if you learn the word opportunity in the morning, you may notice it later in a video, article, or conversation. Because you encountered it earlier, your brain recognizes it more quickly. This process strengthens memory and helps move information from short-term memory into long-term memory. The first hour also influences your mindset. If you begin the day with purposeful learning, You send a message to yourself that growth matters. You become proactive instead of reactive. Instead of allowing the day to control you, you take control of your day. This mindset is essential not only for learning English, but also for achieving success in any area of life. Another advantage of morning learning is consistency. Most people have more control over their mornings than their evenings. As the day progresses, unexpected tasks, fatigue, and distractions often appear. By practicing English early, you ensure that learning happens before anything else can interfere. Remember, fluency is not built through occasional bursts of effort. It is built through daily habits. 20 focused minutes every morning can be more effective than 3 hours of study once a week. Consistency creates progress, and progress creates confidence. So tomorrow morning, before checking social media, before getting lost in distractions, give yourself the gift of learning. Open an English book, listen to an English speaker, practice a few sentences, learn a new word. Take that first step. Because when you win the first hour, you win the day. And when you win enough days, you eventually win the language. Many people begin their mornings by checking social media, reading negative news, or scrolling through endless content that adds little value to their lives. But if you truly want to improve your English and transform your future, one of the most powerful habits you can develop is reading something inspiring every morning. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it first thing in the morning will influence your thoughts throughout the day. If you fill your mind with positive, educational, and inspiring English content, you are not only improving your language skills, but also shaping a stronger mindset. Reading every morning exposes you to new words, phrases, and sentence structures. It helps you understand how English is used naturally in real-life communication. Every page you read becomes a lesson. Every paragraph becomes an opportunity to learn. Every new word becomes a tool that helps you express yourself more confidently. Start with something simple. Read a motivational quote, a short article, a page from a self-improvement book, or a success story. You do not need to read hundreds of pages. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused reading can make a significant difference over time. When you read inspiring content, you learn much more than vocabulary. You learn ideas. You learn perspectives. You discover how successful people think, act, and overcome challenges. This knowledge not only improves your English, but also develops your character and confidence. For example, when you read a quote such as "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out," you learn new vocabulary, but you also learn a life lesson about consistency. That lesson stays with you throughout the day. It motivates you to continue learning even when progress feels slow. Keep a notebook beside you while reading. Whenever you find a new word, write it down, look up its meaning, and create your own sentence using that word. This simple habit helps transfer new vocabulary from short-term memory into long-term memory. Over time, your vocabulary bank will grow and speaking English will become easier and more natural. Reading also improves your writing and speaking skills. The more quality English you read, the more your brain absorbs correct grammar, sentence patterns, and expressions. Eventually, you begin using these structures without even thinking about them. Your confidence increases because you have seen the language used correctly hundreds of times. Remember, great speakers are usually great readers. Great communicators are lifelong learners. If you want to speak English fluently, you must first feed your mind with quality English every day. So tomorrow morning, before you open social media, open a book. Before you read negativity, read inspiration. Before you allow the world to influence your thoughts, fill your mind with knowledge and wisdom. Because every page you read is an investment in your future. Every word you learn brings you closer to fluency. And every inspiring message you absorb strengthens the belief that you are capable of achieving more than you ever imagined. Reading is not just a habit, it is a pathway to confidence, growth, and success. One of the biggest mistakes people make when learning English is believing that English can only be learned inside a classroom. They think they need a teacher beside them, a textbook in front of them, and hours of study every day. But the truth is much simpler and much more powerful. English is not just a subject to study, it is a language to experience. If you want to improve your English faster, you must create an environment where English becomes a natural part of your daily life. The language you hear most often becomes the language your brain understands most easily. This is exactly how children learn their first language. They do not memorize grammar rules before speaking. They learn by listening, observing, repeating, and interacting with their environment every single day. The good news is that you can create your own English environment no matter where you live. Start with audio. What you listen to every day has a huge impact on your language development. Replace some of your daily entertainment with English podcasts, motivational speeches, audiobooks, or educational videos. Listen while walking, exercising, traveling, or doing household chores. Even if you understand only 50% at first, keep listening. Your brain is constantly absorbing sounds, pronunciation patterns, sentence structures, and vocabulary. Remember, understanding everything is not the goal, exposure is the goal. Next, use videos as a learning tool. Watching English videos allows you to hear real conversations while observing facial expressions, body language, and pronunciation. This helps your brain connect words with meaning more naturally. Watch content that genuinely interests you. If you love sports, watch sports videos. If you enjoy technology, watch technology channels. If you love motivation, watch motivational speakers. Learning becomes easier when you enjoy the process. Another powerful habit is changing your digital environment. Set your phone, computer, social media accounts, and frequently used apps to English. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may need extra time to find certain settings or understand certain words, but that discomfort is actually growth. Every day, you will encounter new vocabulary without even opening a textbook. Reading should also become part of your daily environment. Read English quotes, short articles, blog posts, news stories, or book chapters. Even 10 minutes of reading each day can dramatically improve your vocabulary and comprehension skills over time. The more you read, the more familiar English sentence patterns become. Most importantly, surround yourself with positive learning habits. Do not focus on perfection. Focus on progress. Celebrate small improvements. Learn a few new words each day. Practice speaking even when you make mistakes. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every lesson brings improvement. Never forget this powerful truth. Your environment shapes your success. If English surrounds you daily, your confidence will grow daily. If English becomes part of your routine, fluency will eventually become part of your life. You do not need to move to another country to learn English. You simply need to bring English into your world every day. When you create an English environment around you, learning stops feeling like work and starts becoming a way of life. And that is when real transformation begins.